everyone. Welcome to the Chiquis and Chill podcast. I'm so happy that you're here. And anyone that knows me knows I love a good reality TV show. I'm not sure if it's because I started out in reality TV or because I find it really entertaining. But anyway, one of my favorite shows right now is Netflix's Love is Blind. Emilio and I watch it all the time together. And the latest season, season 9, just wrapped. So I thought it was the perfect opportunity to talk to someone about the show. I'm especially interested in learning what it takes to get cast on the show, what kind of personalities apply to be on the show, and also I want to know if there have been any casting regrets. You guys know me. I always have a lot of questions. Today, we're going to be talking to Donna Driscoll. She's the casting director for Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, and a ton of other reality TV shows you know and love. So welcome, Donna, to the podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You know, it's funny. In all the years that I've been doing this, it's my first podcast. So
really? Oh my gosh. Yay. I love that. We have an exclusive here. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate you taking the time. I know you're really busy. And you know, I want to start off by asking, like, what are the responsibilities of a casting director?
No, that's a great question. I don't know that a lot of people fully understand, you know, what the role of a casting director is. And also there's so many different positions in the department. Mm-hmm. So the way that it works is I assemble a team, right? I assemble a team of people who are obvious. I mean, I honestly think I have the best in the business working on Love is Blind specifically and all of our shows at Kinetic, but we assemble the team first. The team is in charge of sourcing talent. Right. Okay. And so that's whether it comes from our application site or that's if they're out there scouting online, which is common across every show, like from competition to cooking to relationship to dating, everybody scouts online. Right. And so then they vet them for the project and then they interview them for the project. And that's my team is who pitches the people they think would be great for the experiment. And then I select the people that we're going to present to the network and to the showrunners of Love is Blind. And at the end of the day, it's the network who decides on the final cast.
And you've been a casting director for 20 years, right?
Oh, yeah. A very long time.
Yeah. And you've been on this as a casting director on this show since it started?
Yes, since season 1.
Oh, wow. See, that's awesome. And do you watch every season?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, 1,000,000%. So I feel like I've done, I think, 20 seasons of Married at First Sight, all of the seasons of Love is Blind, Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, and also Ultimatum Queer Love. A lot of relationship shows. So yes, I watch all of them. I'm obsessed with relationship shows and love in general. So
nice. Have you guys caught someone, like maybe they showed you one face when you guys were interviewing them and then on the show it turned out to be something different?
You know, that's also something because my team and I and everybody who is close to Love is Blind and who works behind the scenes on Love is Blind, we're so protective about the experiment.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important for people to understand that there's so much vetting that goes into it from the very beginning, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, people will. I mean, we saw it with Trevor, who ended up on the show in a relationship, which was devastating to our team because we always feel like really intentional about the people we're putting in the pods because it's almost like a sliding doors moment.
Yeah.
Where I almost feel like, too, if somebody gets cold feet and they drop out, I'm like, oh my gosh, but what if they were meant to meet their soulmate in this experiment? You know what I mean? And so when somebody does come in for the wrong reasons, it's more of like oh man, was that just like a destined moment for somebody else to be in that spot to find their person? And so that's why yes, it can happen. Absolutely. And we do everything we possibly can.
Yeah. And that's like out of your hands, you know, it's like we really thought, and there are people out there that, you know, all of us. And that's happened to me, and it's happened in so many different situations. I do think the experiment is beautiful. I think it's awesome. Like when I first started watching, I'm like, this is amazing. This is how it should be. Like, obviously being attracted to someone physically is important, but what's more important and what's everlasting is being attracted to how they think. If you guys are on the same page morally and spiritually, or you know what I mean? And I think it's actually pretty genius, you know? Are there like certain red flags, certain things that you're like, absolutely not? Like, is there something specific that you guys all know, okay, if this person has this trait, we're definitely not going with that person?
I think without getting too in the weeds with because there are so many flags that we look for.
Okay.
It's always surrounded by dating intentionally, right? And so we look a lot at their dating history. We look a lot at the relationships that they have with their exes. We look a lot at like what their 5-year goal is.
Oh, nice.
You know, professionally, because what we're looking for is eligibility, intentional reasons for being in the pods, authenticity. We're looking for so many different things. There's so many boxes to check off to make it into the pods, you know, to even make it to an interview. And so, so it's a really long process, but very thorough, I would say. I think that it's very difficult for people to understand that because they're only seeing the group that's in the pods, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And there's like I heard that there's a background check. Obviously, we got to, know that they are, good people in the sense of not doing anything crazy in the world.
Yes.
But also there's like a 300 question, I can never say that word.
Compatibility.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can never say, but, so is this true? Is that true?
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
The compatibility questionnaire is a key piece for us too, in terms of figuring out with the ensemble that we have in the pods, if they're going to be compatible with each other. Compatibility is always at the forefront of what we're looking at too, whenever we're selecting that group to go in. Yeah. We want to make sure that everybody has options, sometimes multiple options.
Yeah.
And so that is key. It covers everything though. I mean, I honestly would say, and I joke about this within our team, is that like all of us should fill out this compatibility questionnaire before we get married.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. I was like, I need to see this. I would love to take it myself, my husband and I. Are there any like regrets in regards to like casting someone, or it's just a learning experience?
I don't have any regrets about putting anybody, because here's the thing, is that absolutely people come to the application site. Absolutely, we source talent to go into the pods. However, everything that happens after that requires the will of the candidate, right?
Yeah.
And so they've gone through every step. And it's not easy, like what we ask of them to complete before the pods. And so I feel like that question would be more suited for someone who was on the show, you know?
Yeah. That's true.
And I think the one thing that if I had to look back at anything, it was people that I had a really big heart for, and people that I knew really had a great shot of finding the love of their life in the pods. And they ended up dropping out because either their job wouldn't allow it, or they didn't have the support of their family. It's like I mentioned before, it's like that sliding doors moment where I'm just like, what if? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everyone that's in there, we're all like rooting for. And so I think for that, like there's been moments where someone they get disappointed, or someone chose someone else and they just leave so sad. I'm like, they deserve, like, I want them to be happy. So I think that's like where I've even cried, to be honest. I'm like, oh my goodness, I was really hoping that they found that they were matching. Like, why did he choose her? And I'm like, I get really involved.
Yeah, no, I think we all do too. And I think that it's important to know too that we are all rooting for this. Like, we're in the business of love, like at the end of the day. So that is the big goal. We want to be able to find opportunities for people to find their people.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't work out, it is devastating. But I will say this, and it's because of what Love is Blind does in terms of ironing out what you need to iron out in terms of what you're looking for in a forever partner. Like if you didn't have that fully figured out during the experiment or you didn't find it, at least we've seen a lot of it. And we've also talked about this on the team, the casting team, is that if they didn't find love in the pods, it's very interesting to me for the people who find it just pretty shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and it's not because it's because the work that they put in. It's a lot that we ask of people from the casting process to the vulnerability that comes out in the pods. Mm-hmm. And so that there's a lot of work happening, internally.
Yeah, it probably opens up a different side and makes them think differently about love. So it's, I can only imagine because they're in the pods. Is it how many weeks?
There's 10 to 12 days in the pods.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I knew it was like at least like a 2-week period that they're in the pods. So before that, they have the questionnaire, they have the process they go through with you guys. And it's like, I think it's a huge learning process. Like talking about the whole regret thing, I think even if a person goes on and didn't find their love on Love is Blind, they learn so much that then, like you said, soon after, they're like, okay, now I'm more emotionally intelligent. Now I know what to look for, what not to look for. And I think it's going to help regardless,
That too. And in addition to that, it's the bonds that they build in the pods, I think, with the people, the women and the men that they've been going through the process with.
Yeah.
Because now they have this group of people that have been through something that is so unique and special that no one else in their life has been through. But they are all now at this point likely dating intentionally and really they're able to have those conversations to allow each other to kind of figure out what it is they're looking for and what doesn't work for them and how to move forward to a path to find the love of their life,
Yeah, for sure. And when you are doing the casting, because it's how many women, how many men again?
It's been a minimum of 30, but we're happy to do over that if we feel like it's a good group. Like Minneapolis was our largest group yet. And so I think it's 30 plus.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. And then you guys kind of in that group, like there has to be some where you feel like, okay, this will be a match. Like what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is
they're compatible.
Yes. Compatible and knowing.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. There's certain things that happen when we're casting and we if we find let's say a Jess, we're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Jess.
We need to make sure that we have somebody who do we have that would be compatible with Jess? And then we always think about that, right? But it's just like real life where two people can completely work on paper, but then in person, they may not have that compatibility, that physical chemistry compatibility. And that's real. That's a real thing. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we can be like, yes, these two are going to find their way to each. They're going to be happily ever after. Oh my gosh. Yay. Can't wait. Yeah. But then sometimes real life comes into play and it's just not, it's not a match. You know what I mean? And so it plays out just like it would in the normal dating world, and that's why it's an experiment. Right. So it's like when we're going out through to the cast, we're not saying love is blind. That's why this experiment exists. Is love blind? That's always been the question, right?
Yes. Is love blind? Yeah. So Love is Blind is a fast-track marriage, and it's very unconventional, right? But can you share some of the most memorable stories you've heard about why someone wants to be on the show?
Yeah. That's, it's so interesting because I think that we're noticing something very much in 2025 specifically, where the reason why they're applying is because dating apps are really, really horrible.
Yeah.
And that's just everybody's going to say that. And that's a very we completely understand that is absolutely true. Dating apps are horrible, right?
Yeah.
And very difficult, and very time consuming. So, but I think the more beautiful ones that I've seen and that I appreciate the most are the ones where, you know, somebody's been in a relationship for a very long time that they thought would lead to marriage. And for some reason, it ended up blowing up or it didn't work out. And then they're forced to then really do the work on themselves and figure out what is going to make them happy. And there's been like, I mean, this is like the ideal scenario is when they've taken the time to do the work, right? And then now they're ready to take the ultimate leap of faith to then experience something like Love is Blind. So that's one. Another one that's common, sadly, is people who have lost a loved one recently. And so they find themselves, you know, realizing like tomorrow's not promised. I'm going to take a big risk for a big reward. And that's why I want to put myself out there. So that's another one.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times too, and this is more common than any of the ones I mentioned, is that everybody has everything going great in their life. Like they have the house, they have the job, they have the car, they have the amazing friend group, they have a great family, super supportive. All they're missing is their person, you know?
Yeah. And I can see that because I have friends that feel like I have everything going for me. Everything seems it's perfect. And they're like, why can't I find that person? And I always say, I'm like, you know, it's important. And that's what I did. It's like, let's look inward and say, okay, are there certain things that I can change and that I've learned in relationships that don't work out for me that I can correct in order to find that person? Because I mean, I really do think there's love out there for everyone. I do believe in that. Love is a moving force of the universe. I'm a freaking like, I want everyone to be in love. But I think it's just like you said, it's a process, and it's like, it's really doing this. I think this, to me, it was very interesting. That's why I kept asking you about if this was true about the questions, because I'm like, wow, I've never taken like some type of, I guess, you know,
like an inventory of like what it is you want.
An inventory.
Because a lot of people spend a lot of time wanting to be desired, and they don't think about what it is they're looking for.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I think like that's the biggest readiness piece, you know, is that I'm not looking to be desired or chosen. I'm looking to find someone who loves me for me, you know?
Yes.
Because to be loved is to be understood, right? So I think like that is like kind of like we're looking at all of these interviews that come in, because the casting producers, they run the interviews, we watch the interviews, we figure out who we're going to show to the network. And it's these like kind of like deep layers of exploration in terms of readiness that we take note of for sure.
And do you have a favorite season or like a favorite cast member?
You know why it's so funny? Because a lot of people ask me like who my favorites are, and I feel like I don't have a favorite city. Because, and I think Nick and Vanessa said this best recently on an interview, every single city, just like Married at First Sight, every single city, because we always cast in the same city. And I think the reason why we do that is so that when the cameras leave, there's a support system already in place for this beautiful couple that has found each other through the experiment, right? But then also, I don't have to uproot their entire lives to make it happen. But every single city has their own flavor. Like,
yes, I've noticed. Yeah,
there is like no question about that at all. So I feel like every city brings a certain little spice. But in terms of favorites, it's almost like I can't. I would tick too many people off to say, but I feel like
I can imagine.
I feel like if I was to say the types of people are the people that have like really just been the most authentic through the process, you know, like that's really it. I know it's a lame answer and you want a person,
it's not. No, it's not a lame answer. And I appreciate that because I mean, I had to ask. I was like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to ask. But of course it would be, you're the casting director. You have to like, of
Mhm.
course, love everyone but I like that answer.
But see, that's the thing is like, I literally do. I think that what the viewers would, I mean, like, it's almost like Taylor Hastings said it best recently. And she just said the amount of bravery that it takes for people to do this is astonishing. You're putting yourself on a world stage. You're putting yourself out there for love. And like, to be brave enough to do that is like such a beautiful thing. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for everybody who's entered the pods.
I agree.
Authentically. And that's why I get so surprised sometimes how judgmental the audience can really be, because like they haven't really stepped into these shoes. And it's so incredibly intimate, sensitive, vulnerable, personal, all of those things. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're searching for love, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Because I've even asked myself while watching the show, like, would I do this? Like my husband and I, we watch it together. So we ask each other. And I think at this point of my life, I would. If I wasn't married, I'd be like, yeah, like I feel like I know myself enough and I know what I want. And I've made so many mistakes that I learned from that I'd be like, I'm ready. I know what I'm looking for. I'm vulnerable enough because you cry in there. You're in the pod and they talk about so many things. I sit there and I'm crying with them and I'm just like, I really get involved. So I love that you said that it's unfair that sometimes the audience is very judgmental because you think, oh, it's so easy. Like, no, you have to try to put yourself in people's shoes. Like these are real people that like the people that come in to the show, into the pods authentically, that are really there for the right reasons. It's like they're there and they're being vulnerable. Like they're really trying to find their person. And I get that because there's so many people that are just on a screen, like just judging. It's like we don't know until we're there, you know?
Yeah, no, it's a huge sign of being courageous, I think. And also, you know, I mean, I feel like too, a lot of people would assume, like, even when they're in the casting process, that it's scripted or that we're telling them who to connect with or telling them what to do. I know for a fact that there have been some people who have come not thinking like they're not doing this for the right reasons, but thinking like, am I really going to be able to find my person in here in this way? Like that feels like very crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those people who have been the most skeptical, you know, during the casting process or had the most questions are awesome, because that means to us that they're taking it seriously. Right. And that I would say that the person that really that I can mention is that who took it so seriously, and I think spent hours on the phone with Megan Feldman, who's our casting manager. She's incredible. She's been on the show also since season 1. It was Zach Wojtowski, who has Bliss.
Yes.
And their baby.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, and he was a little skeptical.
I think most people are. I mean, I think it's a little skepticism is okay. You know, like, am I really going to find my person?
You're stepping into like the unknown, 100%.
Yeah, but then there's some people who are like diehard romantics, where they're like, I will find the love of my life absolutely this way. Why? You know?
Yeah.
So you have like it's just like it's art imitates life. There's a billion different types of personalities, a billion different people's approach, a billion different belief systems in terms of the process. But it's really how you show up that is like that special ingredient that's going to change the outcome for sure.
And I'm so glad I was able to talk to you, because I could feel that this is a passion. This is very serious to you. And I am, obviously it has to be because of the importance of it, but I feel it. And I appreciate that as a viewer. I really appreciate that. So I hear you speak and you're like, no, this is serious work, guys. This is not like, it's not just a television show for us to watch, the listeners, you know, this is real. And these are real people on there. They're not actors. I've heard someone, I don't remember who, I was at a dinner and they're like, oh, we were talking about Love is Blind. And they're like, I think there's a bunch of actors in there. There has to be a few. And I'm like, I really don't think so. It was a whole conversation. So yeah, thank goodness. Dawn is here to tell us.
That's funny. I mean, that would be so...
That'd be crazy.
That would be insane. That would be like...
Yeah.
It's like almost like what is it? Like a candid camera or something. But no, I mean, we couldn't. That's the beautiful part too, is like, it's almost like the complexities of the people that are in there. It's almost like they're too real to believe, So, I mean, I would take that as a compliment to the people, is that they are like showing up as themselves. You know what I mean? So much, in fact, that it's like, are these actors? Because
they're just like, here, this is unapologetically myself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My last question. Do you feel like you have learned anything from like working on the show, anything that like you've taken into your personal relationships or your relationship?
Yeah, no, I'm married. I've been married for, how long have I been married? 10 years, going on 11 this month.
Oh,
next week.
Nice.
This week. Tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, I should probably go get a card. But I think that the one thing that I've learned the most is that I feel really grateful to be married in this 2025. I think, dating apps have made it really, really hard. And I think social media also equally makes it hard. And I think that's why I've fallen in love with the experiment since day one, was because it was like getting back to kind of the way I found my husband. So he found me on MySpace, and we wrote letters to each other for like a few months before we met in person. And it was so romantic, and I think like that is one of the key things to Love is Blind that a lot of viewers don't understand. Like, how did they say I love you? And it's like, it's so romantic. Like,
yes,
when you think about it, it's like you're just like in this love bubble, and but yeah, no, I just feel really grateful to be married and to have found my person, because I have seen in so many different cities now how difficult it is for the singles.
Yeah.
And so
for sure, especially nowadays.
Oh gosh, so much, right? Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, I think it's like just trying, like that's what I said before, is like just trying to understand each other. Like, I think that's something that I try to implement like every day that, you're married, is just trying to understand.
And be intentional. And yes. Yeah, because that's what I love about the experiment is it's like, it's kind of going old school. Like, let's talk. And we're really asking each other profound questions. And I think that's what's missing right now. Before I got married, I tried obviously the dating apps. It was not cute. Everyone's just trying to have sex. And it's just like, wait, I'm really trying to get to know someone and their heart. And it's very difficult to meet people now. I'm like, what happened to meeting people at the library?
Yes.
So you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that's why I'm telling you, I absolutely love the show. And I'm just so grateful that you gave us your time and answered our questions or my questions. And I appreciate it. It just definitely, like, if I already love the show, now knowing all of this, it makes me love and appreciate it even more, because I know there's a lot of work to it. And I kind of already knew, but now I really know. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't caught up on this season, make sure you do. Don't forget that the reunion is this Wednesday on Netflix. It premieres at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I will be watching along with you guys, okay? And for those of you who can't get enough of Love is Blind, check out some of our past episodes with Nancy Rodriguez from season 3 and Sal Perez from season 2. Besitos, los amo, and I'll see you on the next episode of Chiquis and Chill. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.